Hello there, and welcome to a live event from Force 13. We're discussing the latest situation in the world of cyclones. And my name is Nathan Foy, who's presenting this show for the next hour, and we're discussing and giving you updates on the current storm situation. Myself and Jason, who will be doing that over the course of the next hour. If you've got any questions for us, any comments, or anything of the like, then please send us a message. Oh, hi there, Jason. We can actually see you. That's a rarity, and hear you. It's like we've got a brand new person all of a sudden. But the problem is usually with you that you're unable to talk most of the time, isn't it? Due to
Yeah.
things outside of your control. All right, excellent. Well, let's go straight to the imagery, and actually, I'll go on to the Navy website so I can show you each storm one by one. First of all, Chan-Hom. This is our latest tropical storm in the Western Pacific, number 9W. It's currently located near the Micronesian islands, just north. There's a visible image, just north of the island of Pohnpei, just down there to the south, and Chuuk is off to the southwest over there somewhere. The storm itself is not affecting those islands, but in particular, and last I heard, there are no warnings in effect at this time. That may change, though, in future. You can also see Jason's screen there, showing us a wide view of everything going on. You can see it's almost like a mirror, isn't it? Two storms on either side of the equator there at very similar longitude. And let's take a look at the other one. And this is Cyclone Raquel, as it's been named now, by Australia. Is that right, Jason?
Yeah, that's it.
It just about falls in your region, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's 160 east that it cuts off, and it must be, where is it? 159. Wow, that was close. But there it is. 25p its number, and you can see it's perched over the Solomon Islands, so it will be affecting those islands, I expect, with heavy rainfall and perhaps gale force winds. Both storms, by the way, are at the minimal tropical storm intensity, 40 miles per hour. It's around, I think it's 60 or 65 kilometers per hour from the top of my head. There's a visible image of that said system as well. They both look very similar, I suppose, on opposite sides of the equator. It really is like a mirror. And then we have several invests as well. Now, here's 94W, almost in the shadow of Chan-Hom, I suppose, because there's the big Chan-Hom over to the east, but the smaller Invest 94 located to the south of Guam and the Mariana Islands, west of Chuuk. Here's Invest 96W. This is another invest that has popped up in the West Pacific near the Philippines. No warnings in effect there. And we also have Invest 97W, which is located much further to the east, actually not too far from the international date line. 176 degrees east. Sorry, I had to look up there and have a look again. Near, I think it's the Marshall Islands in that area. So that's everything that's going on. It's all, curiously, in the Eastern Hemisphere. 5 systems active, and we're tracking them all in this next hour. What are you looking at there, Jason? Oh, the
So,
region's covered
so
by
this
Australia.
so this is the eastern region. So this part up here is where basically where Raquel is located. This is why it was named by Brisbane in part of Australia region.
Now, there's that little area in the northernmost Solomon Islands that isn't covered by that. Is that the area covered by Papua New Guinea?
Yeah, this area here is by Papua New Guinea.
Hmm. And did they have their own naming list as well that they'd be giving the
Yeah,
names?
they do.
Hmm.
They had for instance, recently they had Guba or Gubba.
I don't remember that one. I mean, I
Uh,
feel sort of ignorant for not remembering it. When was that?
um, Oh, I can't remember now. It's like somewhere in 2008 or 7,
Ah,
somewhere
I
around
see.
there.
A bit before my time, in
Yeah.
terms of tracking, anyway. I know you'll have been much more observant, considering you're from that part of the world. But there we are. there's the storms active right now. Any questions for us, send us a message on the YouTube page. I'd just like to read out some comments from Stephen P. Shaw, first of all, who commented long before we started the show. He says, according to NOAA, there has been 3 July named storms in the South Pacific, east of Australia. Since satellite data began, none of the storms occurred north of the Solomon Islands where Raquel formed. And I wonder, I mean, we've only just entered July, literally by 6 minutes here, where I'm sitting right now in the UK. 6 minutes past midnight on the first day of July. But if the storm had formed in June, would that have been more rare or less? I'm struggling to think on whether it would be or not.
I'm not sure either.
I remember, I think it might have been 2012, if not 2013, when we had, it wasn't named, but it was numbered, a storm that occurred in, I think it sort of the same area, obviously not where Raquel is right now, but further south. I think it was 23p, I'm not sure on that. But that formed in June, to my memory. So, Jason, is there anything you can tell us about the storm's presentation right now?
Um, well, it's not really that round. It's pretty much on the eastern side. It's pretty much like sheared off a bit. Most of the convection's on the western side.
Right. And what about Chan-Hom over there?
Chan-Hom is way much better in terms of presentation.
I think you can see it on that
Um,
imagery there as well.
yeah, I'll get a close up. There it is. So it's nice, well defined. And it's nice and round.
They usually are in the West Pacific, though, aren't they? They're always pretty good. Martinez Julian says it's weird seeing a tropical cyclone in the southern hemisphere this time of month since it's winter over there. Yeah, I suppose it is. And I've never had this confirmed to me, but you know, it's different properties really in the Western Pacific, including the South as well, because all that ocean, surely that is more conducive for, in inverted commas, out of season storms. Do you think?
Um, yeah, this part of the world would probably generate stuff like this.
I mean, the waters must be pretty warm as well. I'll take a look at sea surface temperatures in a little while. First of all, I'd like to try and find a particular website that you actually linked me yesterday. I think the Solomon Islands warnings
Oh,
page, because I
this
think
one.
that's rather interesting because we need to see if there are any warnings in effect. Oh, here we are. Tropical. Oh, they've put an
So,
exclamation mark on the end
tropical
of that. Look.
cyclone, tropical cyclone watch advice number 1. So, at 5 a.m. this morning in the Solomon Islands, tropical cyclone Raquel has a central pressure of 999 hectopascals and relocated near 5.8 degrees latitude south and 159.3 degrees longitude east. So this is approximately 110 nautical miles north-northeast of Isabel Island and 20 nautical miles south-southwest of Ontog Java Atoll Island. The cyclone is moving in a southwesterly direction at about 9 knots and still intensifying.
Okay. I'm
Yep.
just actually loading that up myself so that I can resort back to it whenever I feel. But there we are, and that's the first warning that they've issued, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's for Raquel, and 7:10 in the morning over there, where Jason is.
Yep.
I don't know how you manage it, getting up so early. I'm a night owl myself. Okay, let me get up the SSTs then and see what we can make out from that. Takes a little while to load, just a few moments. And here we are, starting in the Atlantic by the looks of things. Well, why not? Let's actually go over to the Pacific first, because that's where the map actually starts. Eastern Pacific. Water's fairly warm around Hawaii, certainly warm enough for a possible tropical cyclone. Though in between Hawaii and the American continent, not so warm. Off the coast of Mexico, very warm indeed, 30 degrees or higher. Same too for large parts of the Gulf of Mexico, and you can see along the west coast of Florida there, highs of 32 in the waters. Off the coast of Tampa and that sort of area. The Caribbean, certainly towards the southern half, it's a little bit on the chilly side. 26 or less along the coast of Venezuela. Further towards the east, you can see a little bank there of warm enough waters here, 28 degrees or so, looking pretty good. And off towards the east, much cooler waters in the Atlantic. Let me just quickly go through the rest of the world. Indian Ocean, around 30 degrees, particularly towards the equator there. We could be seeing some, if a tropical storm forms there, it could possibly get its act together. I'm sorry, I'm just distracted by a fly that's erratically flying across my screens. Western Pacific around the Philippines, 30 degrees Celsius or higher, and now the fly's on my screen, looking exactly where I'm looking at. And further south, where our storms are, go away sorry, 30 degrees, generally, perhaps slightly less, where our two storms are right now, but certainly warm enough for sustained development. Bugger off. Okay, Jason, would you like to take it away and talk about something else whilst I sort the fly out and sort Daniel out, who wants to join us?
Okay. So I'll show up these joint traffic warning centers track maps just for a brief moment. So this one's track map for Chan-Hom. This is warning number 2. It shows that Chan-Hom will be moving in a west direction, then start moving towards a northeasterly direction as it moves towards the Northern Mariana Islands. This is just to the east of Guam, and starts intensifying to equivalent to a Category 1 typhoon.
That's interesting.
So this is more than 63 knots just to the east of Guam.
Did you show us a track map for yes?
Oh, okay. Track map for Raquel. So this is the track map from the Bureau of Meteorology. At the moment, Raquel is equivalent to a a tropical storm on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. It's a Category 1 on the Australian scale. The Bureau of Meteorology says it goes to the southwest, then towards the south as a Category 2, then makes landfall as it moves towards the east as a Category 1.
Daniel, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello. You always sound tired and like you've just got out of bed and really deep voice and all that stuff.
No.
No.
I'm just in a bit of trouble with my iPod, and that's it.
Yeah, you weren't very pleased about that, were you?
That'd be an understatement.
Right. So how are
this
you
is
this morning? Sorry, Jason.
Yeah, this is the track map for 25 or Raquel from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. They don't have it more than 63 knots, but it will have mainly a southerly direction towards just passing south towards the Solomon Islands, then moving away and then dissipating by the 5th at 12 Zulu.
You look at that trajectory there, and it's sort of bound. Well, I suppose it's not particularly fast moving, which could mean some heavy rain trouble and the like. I'm just actually looking for other things, and that fly is still bugging me on my screen. Oh joy. Okay, let's get
Fly.
Yeah, there's a fly. Daniel, you don't want to know.
Oh, horrible.
Horrid. Vile.
Yes.
Okay, let's take a look at some models if I can. But it appears that the West Pacific models aren't working at this time. Or some of them. Oh, there's a shear map.
Yep.
There's the wind shear values. You can see how it's sort of moderate around the Solomon Islands, high to the south of those islands. So, I mean, you do expect that, well, the Solomon Islands is pretty much the storm's safe haven, but even that is a bit of a double-edged sword because it's land, of course. And land interaction, as well as high wind shear and dry air, kills storms.
Mm.
I'm unable to get any models up at the moment. Which,
Yeah.
yeah, no. Let me try and get this one then, for the time being. I just want to show you at least one of them, what they're saying for the West Pacific. Okay. See those low shear values, by the way, on Jason's map? Okay, here's the what the models say in the West Pacific. Alright, so this, I believe, is one of the invests. Yes, was it 96, I think? 94 over there, I think. So, there's two of the storms. I'm not sure whether that is Invest 94 or indeed Chan-Hom, but that's one storm for Guam. Let's fast forward further. And oh, there's another storm behind there as well, affecting the northern Mariana Islands. So that's two storms accounted for. That initial invest near the Philippines appears to hang around a little while and then dissipate, but look how time progresses. That's a significant typhoon there, approaching the Ryukyu Islands of Japan, and it appears to be rather strong at that point, once it affects those islands. Who's making the noise? Daniel, what are you doing?
Getting a drink of Coke.
Do it quietly.
Okay, sorry.
I'm sorry, we're just, you know, we're on air and all that.
I didn't think it was that loud.
It is quite loud.
I'm sorry.
You're welcome. And then that storm eventually makes landfall in China, near Shanghai, actually. And then curves towards the north. Of course, these are just model runs. They are not to be taken with 100% confidence, and it is 10 days out, so those in Shanghai, don't worry about it just yet, but just be aware. That same goes for the whole east coast of China, for Taiwan, for Japan, and of course a more immediate threat probably for the Mariana Islands, in particular Guam and the islands to its north. Jason also has a graphic up, if I can navigate to it. My mouse is slowly losing its usefulness. It took twice to actually do this thing. Anyway, I mean, there seems to be quite a lot of confidence for Chan-Hom up to around 5 days. I suppose that's normal, and then beyond that, it's a big... it's like spaghetti, all going out in different directions. Any questions for us, please ask, and we'll do our best to answer. If you've got any silly questions that you'd like Daniel to answer, then he'd be more than well happy to entertain that also.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, that's interesting, Jason, the GFS there.
He wants to go westwards, but Navgen wants to go southwards.
But both of them predict somewhat of a stall. And I think the Navgen model there takes the storm over the capital of the Solomon Islands, Honiara. I think it's on that island, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if it develops, it might be bad news there. I don't know how well prepared for cyclones the Solomon Islands are, because it's not that common an occurrence. I mean, we saw Vanuatu after Pam, but Pam was a big storm, I suppose. But even a small storm can cause the worst of effects with only its rainfall.
Mm.
What else are we going to look at? I'm not sure. Well, Daniel, oh, what's this? There's a map that Jason's showing us. Daniel would like to talk to us about what's going on in the world of British weather at the moment.
Me?
Yeah, if you want.
It's been quite warm recently.
Quite.
It's reached well, very, very warm.
Hmm.
It's reached about 30 degrees Celsius, isn't it? It's
Yes.
a peak temperature.
Let me remind people here in the UK that the average temperature in summer is around 19 to 21 Celsius during the day. But today, I mean, it's not to say that it never happened, but when it does happen, people make a fuss over it. Today we had a high of, at Force 13 HQ, we had a high of 30.9 Celsius, which is 87.6 Fahrenheit. And possibly even hotter tomorrow in London. We could be seeing temperatures approaching 100 Fahrenheit, possibly. Certainly in Paris, we could be seeing temperatures exceeding 100 Fahrenheit, which is incomprehensible to me, at least.
It hasn't been this hot in 5 years, has it, since 2010?
At Force 13 HQ, the last time it was so hot was on May 22nd, 2010, when it was 33 Celsius. Though in 2014 it was only 0.4 degrees cooler.
Oh. There's been some stormy weather, hasn't there, down south?
There has indeed. I hope we see some up north.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah. You just want to cool down, don't you?
Yeah. I'm not cut out for hot weather.
You're not cut out for hot weather. Alright, those of you who are joining us, let me remind you of the tropical weather situation. What we're looking at right now is a visible image of tropical storm Chan-Hom, which has formed in the Western Pacific in the last few hours and has wind speeds of 40 miles per hour, a pressure of 996 millibars. Currently located at its position at 10 degrees north, 159.6 degrees east, not too far from Micronesia and its eastern islands. We're also tracking Cyclone Raquel, which is located near the Solomon Islands and is likely to make landfall on one or more of those islands in the next few days, also with winds of 40 miles per hour and a pressure of, again, 996 millibars, and that's located at 6.1 degrees south, 159.3 degrees east. Very close in longitude, aren't they? 0.3 degrees difference. Invest 94W located south of Guam. Invest 96W located just off the eastern coast of the Visayas region of the Philippines. Invest 97W located near the Marshall Islands, I believe it is, not far from the international date line, which means we have 5 systems active in the western half of the Pacific, and that fly is still irritating me and is on my screen. I can't, it's small and I can't, you know, I don't want to be nasty. I want to try and collect him in my hands and take him out the window, but all my efforts so far have failed, but it's quite difficult to do that when you're on air.
Just
Daniel.
do what I do.
What?
Get a tea towel and smack it.
Oh.
They're disgusting.
You're outrageous.
You could catch it, I suppose, though.
Right. Okay then, moving on. Jason, what are we looking at here?
This is the population density in for the Solomon Islands as of 2000. Most of the population is based in just north of Honiara.
Suppose that would make sense.
Or in Honiara.
Yeah.
I'm not well with Solomon Island geography.
No. Excellent. And those islands further north. Now, just keep it on that page for one moment, Jason. I just want to try and pin down. No, the other one. Sorry.
That
Um,
one.
just trying to pin down what island we expect to see a landfall on. Okay, so it's the long one there. Is it? Is Santa Isabel? Is that its name?
Yeah.
So we're expecting a landfall on Santa Isabel, and that I would say is in about 24 to 30 hours from now. So that's going to be tomorrow morning, local time, and then it's going to, at the moment, it's forecasted to then turn to the southeast and then make landfall. At the moment, the JTWC map has it making a beeline for Honiara, actually making landfall 8 miles from the center of Honiara, and then moving further south, and then eventually weakening to become a TD. And you can see during, sorry, on the JTWC map, I'll show my version, Jason, so you don't have to dig it up yourself. You can see how it says wind speeds of 65 miles per hour. And which dot does that refer to? So just as it leaves, was it Santa Isabella, was it? Or Isabel? I don't even remember what they're called anymore. Yes, Santa Isabel, I got it. So once it departs that island, it's going to reach its peak. That's what JTWC say at this time, with gusts of 80 miles per hour, of course, hurricane force gusts. And then turning to the south, striking near Honiara, with winds of maybe 60 miles per hour, and then continuing to the south. No threat to Vanuatu or New Caledonia. Daniel?
Um,
What are you giggling
Nothing.
at? Come on.
I'm not giggling.
Come on.
I'm not giggling at all.
Right.
Sorry.
Where's he gone? I had him cornered on the edge of my screen.
Oh,
Playground.
you need one of those fly trap plants.
Oh, there he is again. Go and get him. Got him. I've got him. Come on.
Oh.
Out. Hey, party. He's out.
Good. No violence involved either.
Yeah, if it was you, it'd be dead long before we started.
I don't like killing them, to be honest, but it's the only way you can do it sometimes.
Right. Now, Jason, just looking at this image here, you're hovering around the center of the storm with your cursor. What is this? Can't be an eye already, can it?
No, it can't be a night. It has to be like a tall thunderstorm tower.
Oh, well, surely Visible would point that out, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there's 2 towers, one in the right there, and there's another one there.
Can we possibly zoom in any more on that?
I'll try. It will take a while, I guess.
Oh, I see.
Oh, maybe not. There we go. No, it's just taking its time.
Yes.
So there's 2 towers.
Yes, that's much more clear now. The fly is back.
Oh no.
Good lord.
It might be a different one.
Probably.
This is the windows are wide open, but they have to be because it's been so warm in this room today. Anyway, we're looking at those towers there. Now, I read somewhere, I'm not sure if it's universally true or not, that these towers that rise up from the storm indicate strengthening. Is that universally true?
Supposedly,
Or
the thunderstorms will like do spin up and then will probably intensify slowly, but I'm not sure yet.
something to do with that.
Yeah.
But I think it is a safe bet to say that this storm will continue to intensify. The models have been saying it for quite some time. The forecasts are saying it now. I certainly don't think it will be only 40 miles per hour at its peak, though it would be rather surprising indeed if it happened to reach hurricane status, which I'm not saying will happen by any stretch of the imagination yet, but if I was on the Solomon Islands right now, I would obviously want to prepare for the worst and possibly hurricane conditions. Well, not certainly, but quite likely we will see hurricane force gusts at the very least.
I know sometimes in the media in the UK you get these reports of hurricane force winds and stuff. Is it all rubbish?
No, it's not.
Oh,
There's a subtle difference here. You're talking about hurricane force winds, and hurricane force winds can occur anywhere.
oh,
When you're talking about hurricane force in the media, you're really only comparing it to a hurricane rather than calling it a hurricane.
oh.
With winds, it's like saying it had winds as fast as a hurricane. But this is where a lot of people get confused. Some people in the UK in particular, when an extratropical storm comes along, they call it a hurricane, even though it is not. And
Fools.
it's been like that for some time.
Hmm. We like to exaggerate, don't we, when it comes to weather?
Well, obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Despite that, people don't know the difference between a tornado and a hurricane in the UK.
Oh, God.
Honestly,
Outrageous.
yes. Any more comments for us? Anything topical in your area that you'd like us to pick up on or investigate? We'd be more than happy to take on that obligation.
Let's see what you did there. Investigate.
No,
Oh.
nothing to do with that at all. Those of you who haven't seen it yet, who have just joined, this is the forecast map for Tropical Storm Chan-Hom in the Western Pacific. Is now a tropical storm according to both the JTWC and the Japanese Meteorological Agency. And this is the JTWC forecast map. The fly is halfway along the track at the moment, but you can't see it on your screen. They expect it to become a typhoon by day 4, and then possibly swipe through the Mariana Islands there at typhoon strength 80 miles per hour or higher, and further intensification as it continues beyond those islands, but it does appear that those areas will be the first to see effects from this storm. I think it will pass too far away from Micronesia to cause any problems, and I don't think we'll see any tropical storm warnings go into effect. You can see on the right hand side of your screen there distances that the storm is currently expected to pass from. So what are we looking at there? The closest one, Rota. That's the island just north of Guam, just south of the track forecast, 39 miles. Saipan, 29. Tinian, another island just south of Saipan, 12 miles. And some other islands as well. Anatahan, Alamagan, and Pagan. A larger amount of distance. Those are also part of the Mariana Islands. Of course, this track is subject to change, and when the next update comes out in about 3 hours, it will probably say something a little bit different, but not dramatically different. Let's take a look now at Jason's imagery, and I'll just leave the mic open for a little while. All right, let me remind you once again of the storms we have active. No warnings in effect, but that might change before long. Actually, Jason, did you have a shear map up there that we might not have seen yet? We didn't spend much time explaining the Western Pacific side. Here we are. You can see how high amounts of shear lie near the equator right now, but further north... Daniel, what are you laughing at now?
I'm not laughing at anything.
Yes, you are.
It's a bit daft.
Right. Shear... yeah, it usually is something daft with you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you better be.
Is the fly still there?
Yes.
Oh, maybe it wants to join us.
I think he's my new pet now.
Yeah,
Call it.
you could call it. Don't know.
I shall call it Chan-Hom.
Okay.
Now, yeah, the shear map, there it is. The blue areas you can see east of the Philippines and the Philippine Sea, in between those islands and the Mariana Islands. Looking good over there. Low amounts of wind shear, 0 to 10 knots, and decreasing in the north. A few other little areas of low amounts of shear as well further east, and that's where our storms are right now. Usually there's a marker, that a tropical storm icon where Chan-Hom is, but it's such a recent development that it hasn't yet appeared on these maps. But you can see further east as well, near the date line, how the wind shear is rather low near the equator as well, in that little gap. Sort of like a minefield, really, isn't it, if you're a storm? High amounts of wind shear near the northern part of the Philippines, extending along a big belt there from Southeast Asia, wrapping round and reaching Japan and beyond. But a little gap in between there as well of low wind shear amounts too. I've not actually seen any water vapor imagery yet, so I'm going to load that up now, unless Jason is quicker than me. I suggest not, because I've already got it loaded. Here you can actually see the little... It's sort of like a train of storms, really. And you know something, Jason? There's actually another little interesting, peculiar thing going on in the South China Sea there as well.
Yeah.
So, 5 little systems, really, aren't there? The most potent, quite obvious, you can see on that screen there, Chan-Hom. Second place, I'd probably say 94W, the one south of Guam. But I think it's quite a distant second at that. Looking at the actual water vapor imagery, the driest air appears to be around the east coast of northern the Philippines, and just north of Invest 97W. I've now got 2 flies in the room. It's like storm updates come fly watch. I think I should close the curtains so they can't see all this light going on.
You're covered in them before you know it.
Clearly. I don't know what else
There's the swarm.
Well, about the heat in here. You see, here in the UK we don't have air conditioning unless we're rich, or businesses and education
Buy
facilities.
little devices, can't you? You can plug in and...
We've got a fan.
Yeah, a fan only moves the air around, what doesn't cool it.
That's right.
An air conditioner cools the air.
Yes. I mean, Force 13 has many fans, but it doesn't make me much cooler. We're still at 29 Celsius in this room. Excellent. Okay, there's all the storm systems. It's a bit treacherous, really, in the West Pacific if you're near the in the tropics. Elsewhere around the world, I don't think we're seeing any signs of development anywhere, but let's take a look at the Atlantic and East Pacific just whilst we can. Pardon me. So let's see what happens here. I've not looked at these before, but I expect we won't see anything special. Perhaps a little disturbance there in the Central Pacific near the end of that run there. That's on the usually aggressive CMC as well, so if they're hardly predicting anything, then it doesn't give us much hope for anything else. ECMWF then, let's take a look at that. As we go on the run here, I think that's an extratropical system now in the Atlantic. And again, a little system there in the Central Pacific, but really doesn't appear to be much. Nothing really. And then we move on to GFS. Just see if there's anything anomalous that we can pick up on. But again, it appears to be rather a non-event. All these frames. Around about day 7 or day 8 we started seeing that East Pacific thing, but GFS doesn't pick up on that at all. Now HWRF, interestingly enough, has started on some of the invests as well. This is an earlier run from what was to become Chan-Hom. Let's see if it does anything interesting with that. Actually pretty weak for a while, and then some intensification, typhoon strength, near typhoon strength. I think this might be more for the track than anything. And apparently stalls east of Guam and sort of parallels the Mariana Islands there and becomes a typhoon eventually. That's a very interesting one, that. I'm not sure on that one happening. Let's go back to the visible imagery with Jason's screen. Here's a close-up of Cyclone Raquel. Raquel or Raquel?
How do you pronounce that? Oh.
There's something on my leg now.
Oh no. Is it a spider?
You'd hate that. I'd just like to point
Yes.
out at the end of that run there, I completely failed to acknowledge the other 2 storms that are in the Western Pacific at the same time. Triple storms, Jason. What do you think of that?
Good God.
Good God.
Speechless.
Yes. And I think it even, yeah, you can see how it moves Raquel as well on a pretty much straight line, really, through those islands. Oh, actually, hold on. There's a little bit more history to that. It sort of swirls around for a while, and then eventually moves through the islands on the second time of asking, and appears to become a remnant low, not far from Papua New Guinea. Well, I didn't really see Force 13 as a dating service, but it appears we fulfilled that today with myself and the fly.
Oh. That's disturbing.
Disturbing.
It'll be squashed soon, probably. It'll probably fly away.
Wish it would.
How, you're gonna propose to it, you're gonna get like a little ring.
Certainly
Its
not.
leg.
Daniel, really? Shocking behaviour.
Are you gonna kiss it?
No.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Driving away our viewers, Daniel.
I'm sorry. You started it.
You ended it. I think we should also show the Australian map as well, Jason, whilst you had it up there.
Oh, yeah.
On the Australian scale, predicting Category 2. Australian scale, of course, much different to the Saffir-Simpson scale, but for those of you who may be watching in Australia, more accustomed to that, then we'll also show you this. Category 2 landfall, it appears, and then weakening, and then sort of like a zigzag effect along the island of Santa Isabel. I mean, it does appear somewhat likely that the storm will stall before before heading south or wherever it goes next. So I must reiterate for that reason that rain will probably be the biggest threat rather than wind speed.
That's why it's a bad idea to go in a cellar, isn't it? Due to flooding.
So.
Yeah.
I'll just be silent for a short minute. Visible imagery of Cyclone Raquel. And there we are. Oh, there's a nice visible image showing everything that's going on there. And I must say, Chan-Hom is looking... It just has that look about it. You know, sometimes when you see a storm that just has that look, that it might become something quite significant.
Yeah.
And it's got a similar effect on that storm as well, hasn't it, Jason?
Yeah.
This is remarkable. Same longitude and same things happening at the same time.
What about the fly that shares the same name?
Really?
Sorry, I should have about the fly.
The fly is fine.
Good.
So
You
it
ready to
looks
squash it
interesting
yet?
when you look at it on an angle.
Sorry, what was that?
It's interesting when you look at the stellar image on an angle.
How do you mean? Oh, if you look, so that it might make two eyes, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes. Excellent. Daniel, have you anything to add?
No,
Why not?
I haven't got anything to add.
How
What should I
annoying.
add? What should I add?
Just anything you want to talk about, or you know.
Don't know. Not really anything relevant.
Oh, well, that's a big disappointment.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're better. Sorry.
When are we going to have any future game shows?
Yes, I'd like to point out to everyone that the game show series on For Horse 13 is going to start again in September.
Oh, good. Hopefully I'll win this time. And I won't get beaten by Wanny.
Wanny beat you. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Still not over it.
Oh,
Cry myself to sleep at night.
poor baby.
Thinking of...
All right. Well, I think we've discussed everything storm related. We'll probably talk about it a little bit as well. But I'd also like to say something because, if I'm not mistaken, we are only 10 minutes away from a leap second.
Oh, true.
So, on the UTC clock, we're going to be reaching 11:59 and 60 seconds before reaching midnight.
Oh.
I mean, it's not that exciting, is it? Just a second.
Why have they added a second on?
They do it for some scientific reason.
Oh.
I think it's to match the rotation or something of the Earth and the Sun.
Yes.
So somebody could just say just a second and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I mean, you sort of want to be doing something really important in that second, so you can say, "Hey, I was doing this.
Yeah.
I was on air during a leap second." How about that?
Mm-hmm. I was alive during a leap second.
Excellent. Oh, there we are. Jason's clock. Excellent.
You say excellent a lot.
Sorry?
You're saying excellent a lot.
Oh, pardon.
Excellent.
Is that your word for today?
Outrageous. Daniel.
Outrageous.
Yes, so whilst we tick down, let me see if there's any more recent imagery and see if I can make any observations on the visibles. So there's Chan-Hom, our latest named tropical storm. How many is that now, by the way? Let me find out how many storms we're up to in 2015. I think that makes it 36, and we're on what day? The 1st of July. Oh, 1st of July, how about that? Day number 182, and we are at 36 storms, which is actually pretty good. As in pretty high. Fast first half, I suppose, to 2015, almost record-breaking actually, and actually is record-breaking in some respects, and I'll discuss that now. The amount of hurricanes we've seen so far, or hurricane-equivalent storms, we've seen 21. To put it in comparison, other years, like, what was the record breaker? 1997 was a record breaker, but I don't have data for that. I think 1996 came second, and at this point in time it had 16, I think, and we're on 21. Majors, category 3 or higher, another big gulf. We're at 14. The record holder for this date, 1992 and 1985, only had 10. But category 5s is where it really shines. 6 of those already this year. That's more than that's higher than more than half of every hurricanes every year worldwide since 1960. A full year. More than half of them.
Cool.
Imagine how boring the world was in 1974. The only year in recent times where there was no Category 5 storm anywhere in the world all year long.
Oh. Must have been very exciting.
Right.
Mm.
Okay, well, so let me just show you Raquel as well. I'm not sure if that's the most recent image. Hopefully we'll load another one. It is. There's the latest image. You can see already the islands, the Solomon Islands, being affected by the storm with rainfall. I expect some gusty winds occurring on those northernmost islands too. There's Invest 94, Invest 94W, located south of Guam, Invest 96W near the Philippines, and Invest 97W near the Marshall Islands near the international date line.
Where is the international date line?
Over the Pacific Ocean. I thought you'd have known that by now, Daniel.
Oh yeah, I thought it was over the somewhere near the Indian Ocean.
No.
No.
Oh, look at this. A yellow circle.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, Jason's eyes light up. A yellow circle and a 20% chance in the next 5 days of cyclone formation for an Eastern Pacific disturbance. Can we see it on satellite by any chance?
Is
This area here, very broad area that it's highlighted. But yeah, next 5 days, there could be something happening there, but not likely. The Atlantic, needless to say, has nothing planned for the next 5 days.
It's dead.
As Devon always says.
Yeah.
What does he say in every... Oh, that's a nice image, Jason.
I'll post you a link in just a sec.
That must be very recent indeed.
There you go.
Beautiful Earth.
Mm.
I can't really click links, to be honest, otherwise it would give me too many windows. But Daniel can click it if he likes.
I can't click it because I'm on a mobile device.
Silly.
Not my fault.
Well, just less than 3 minutes on my clock until the leap second. And then we'll go off air.
For a second.
As always, you can contact Force 13 on any of our mediums, the website, which is still under renovation. Jason, would you like to talk about our little project?
Oh, the Hypo World.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have a Hypo World system going on, which is basically a made-up world called Web F. So the sun's called Web, and it has all these storms that are located in different areas of responsibilities. Like my place will be like Rega or RSMC Pierce, and yeah, and there's like RSMC Orchard City and or
You
somewhere like that.
explain it much better than me.
So yeah, every 6 hours we issue an update onto the website of like a podcast track.
Well, we're supposed to.
Yeah, we're supposed to.
I haven't been doing it for too long.
And we also have our own like mini website for our own like watches and warnings and all that.
That's a work in progress, but it is available to view at your discretion. hypoworld.force-13.com. It's just basically typing in the website you all know and love, and just typing in Hypo World in place of the www dot. But it automatically puts it in for you these days, the www thing. Oh, Jason's loading it now. Remarkable. I came up with the concept and design. Jason did the tricky stuff.
Is that a 3D model?
Oh.
Yeah, it is.
There's some storms that were active, and they're probably all dead.
Yeah.
This is as of the 29th, so it's been a while.
Yeah. There's Devon's place, Glees. Further to the east is Michael's country, which is being hit by a 9.4 earthquake every day because Michael loves destruction.
United victim.
This is this month. So in the sidebar, there's like webquakes. Last 24 hours there hasn't been any. But this month has been some.
It's remarkable.
Invest no 5G.
And there's Jason's country, Rego, is it?
Yep. Some rain bands going in.
So it's pretty chilly there as well, isn't it? In the capital, at least. All sorts of climates. It's quite difficult to scale it properly. Everything was just so big. So we've sort of settled on the world being half its size. By the way, I think we're at the leap second.
Oh wow. Have we missed it?
Jason, you made us miss it.
No.
Oh, fool.
Oh well.
Well, it's happened and we're still on the air, so that's great news.
Second
Oh
of our
dear.
life gone.
July the 1st, we were in the middle of Hypo World, oblivious completely to the actual leap second. But hey, there you go. That's just about how significant it was in our lives. We're going to finish up the show now. Thanks everyone for joining us, and of course we'll be doing more updates as and when. You can also visit us on our social pages. I'd recommend that, actually. Facebook and Twitter, search Force13, all in text, and you'll find us on there. And I would suggest that you follow those pages, because we're going to be doing updates 24/7 in the next few days as we track these storms. But until our next show, which will be live again, I expect at a similar time tomorrow evening, that's all from us for now. Daniel, thanks for joining us.
Okay.
Are you in bed?
Yeah.
Okay. Jason, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And me, thanks for joining. The Fly, thanks for joining us. Now.
Yeah.
Who knows where it is? And we'll see you again some other time.